Do you like using humor to cope with dark times? Me too. Welcome to States Against Humanity, the March Madness tournament that brings all of us disappointed and stressed out strangers together, distracting us from impending doom while we choose the state that's worst for humanity. And today we will be looking at the matchup of Mississippi, #1 seed, against #4 seed Iowa in the category chosen by you, LGBTQ+. And little did we know, except for Iowans, that this could be the upset. This could be the Cinderella story. The thing about both Mississippi and Iowa in their legislative policies for LGBTQ over the past few years is that they both followed a pretty similar pattern of restricting rights to that community. So for instance, back in 2022, Governor Kim Reynolds signed a bill that prevented transgender girls from competing in female sports. Governor Tate Reeves of Mississippi signed a similar bill the previous year in 2021. Iowa enacted a transgender bathroom ban, which forces transgender people to use the restroom that matches their biological sex that was assigned to them at birth. Also, in 2023, they passed a bill banning gender-affirming care for minors. Mississippi enacted the same kind of gender-affirming care ban in 2023 and followed up with a transgender bathroom ban in 2024. Which limits the type of restrooms that transgender people can use in public. But Mississippi isn't stopping with just preventing transgender youth from accessing gender-affirming care. They are also going to target transgender adults. And they're going to do this by preventing transgender individuals from accessing state or public funds like Medicaid to pay for their gender-affirming treatments. So that's pretty terrible. But Iowa really just said, we can best that. We can do better. Why don't you, as transgender people, just get the hell out of our state? I mean, normally I wouldn't use a headline like this because it seems hyperbolic, but in fact, when you see the actual headline, you're like, wait a minute. It's accurate. Governor Kim Reynolds signed a bill removing gender identity protections from the state's civil rights code in the Civil Rights Act code of the state. They are the first state in the country to remove these rights from trans people from any marginalized protected class. It's called Senate File 418, and it removes gender identity as a protected class. You know, that's the thing that protects you from discrimination in employment, housing, education, public accommodation, like all the things. It also applies to non-binary Iowans. The bill states that there are two genders and recognizes that intersex exists. But again, I stress, how the hell do you know who's intersex without asking them? And that seems weird. Why are Republicans doing that? Get a hobby. These states were neck and neck with the rollbacks of protections for the LGBTQ community. But do you think that this final bill from Iowa that strips transgender and non-binary people of any civil rights protection, do you think that puts them over the edge, over the, what are we calling it, a cliff at this point? Do you think it makes them worse than Mississippi? If you do, you should pick them in this poll below. If you think Iowa didn't make the case and Mississippi, in fact, reigns supreme in this area of terror for people in the LGBTQ community, select them and they will advance forward. Final selections will be announced tomorrow, I guess. Who's running this thing anyway? See you then, tomorrow night, live, 9:30. Bye.